Hello, welcome back to Paul's Stuff, my channel where I speak about everything I love. Lots of Star Wars, lots of lightsabers at the moment. Not exclusively that. If you go back through the videos on the channel, you'll see that there's some other stuff on there as well. But it is mainly Star Wars and mainly lightsabers, and that's what we're going to look at today. So what I've got to talk about today is this lightsaber. It's the LS2 from Padawan Outpost. It's an LGT saber. It's based off of an Episode 6 Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker lightsaber. The particular version used in the film is different to this. It has or for the most part, it's different to this. It has a clamp arm on it, and various little greeblies around the bottom that are different to this one. And I believe there are differences in the fins at the top as well. This particular model is seen in a scene that never got into the movie. It's a scene in a cave on Tatooine where Luke is adjusting or repairing his lightsaber before he goes to see Jabba the Hutt, and he puts it into R2-D2 for those scenes at Jabba's palace and on the barge. But he's repairing it. The clamp card's back, and there's all sorts of little electronics in there. I believe what happened was that the saber used in that scene afterwards got used for the promotional videos and promotional photos and things, and that became known as the Luke Hero lightsaber for Return of the Jedi, although it never really got used in the film. I believe it may be a modified version of it is in the scene where Darth Vader takes Luke's lightsaber and says, "I see you have constructed a new lightsaber." But anyway, it's a nice replica. Not the most accurate. Those of you that watch the channel regularly will know that I'm not particularly into the massively accurate replicas that you can get of lightsaber hilts. The LGT ones on the whole will do fine for me. I do like to dress them up a little bit and do a little bit of modification and additions to them to bring them closer to what we see on screen. I use most of them when I'm costuming, or I use some of them a lot when I'm costuming. Some others, this one particularly, not so much, but it does get occasionally used. And the LGT sabers are great, I find, for that. They're robust. This has got a Xenopixel board in it, which is very easy to control. I can remember the controls for this without having to have a sheet of all the controls to remember how to get things done on it. I can do most things on it straight away from memory. So let's have a look at it lit. Do things a little bit differently this time. Normally I look at the hilt first and then put the blade in. Today I've got the blade in, and we're going to have a look at that first. So this is my custom power on sound. The Xenopixel is customizable in terms of sounds, fonts, colors, ignition styles, blade styles. There's a lot of things you can do with it. One of them is you can put custom sound files for events like power on, power off. That's my custom sound file. So there we go, lovely green blade. Now today I've got a 7/8 inch blade in this one, using one of the adapters from Padawan Outpost. As standard, this comes with a 1 inch socket and a 1 inch NeoPixel blade, but it will work with the 7/8 inch blades with the adapter. So I've got one of those in today. All the usual Xenopixel stuff, blaster block, tip drag, flash on clash, lock up, and with mine I always put quotes on for the force effect control on the sabers, so that I can have quotes from the movies.
Greetings, Exalted One.
So this has quotes from Luke from episode 6.
I'm Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight and friend to Captain Solo.
Have the benefit of gesture controls with Xenopixel as well, so you can twist on and on. You can also stab on, stab off, and I believe there's a swing on as well. I very rarely have those set up. I like the twist on, twist off. Don't use the stab on, stab off, or swing on so much. One of the things I do with most of my sabers, I collect character sabers, and I tend to put sound fonts on them that reflect the character and the movie that they're seen in. So this has got a number of fonts on it. Most of them are from episode 6, Return of the Jedi. One of them is from The Mandalorian. We see Luke using his lightsaber in one of the Mandalorian episodes. So I have that version on as well, as that's ostensibly is this saber. So the fonts on here, I've got a little cheat sheet. I keep a list with all the different fonts that are on my different sabers, so I know what's on them. And this one has the Return from Kyberphonics. It has the classic version of LS6 from K-Sith. Return of the Jedi Hero from Ronin Sabers. It has the cave scene version of LS6 from K-Sith. It has Rescue, which is the Mandalorian one, from K-Sith, and it has the old version of LS6 from K-Sith as well. So I'm just going to cycle through to the cave scene font.
I'm Luke Skywalker.
I see you have constructed
Because
a new lightsaber.
One thing I haven't shown much of is the different blade setups and things that you can have with Xenopixel. Most of mine are set up for standard ignition and a pulsing blade. This particular font I've got set up for a broken ignition and an unstable blade. Now, my reasoning for that is this is a cave scene. Luke was repairing or adjusting the lightsaber. It's not set up optimally in that scene, and so this sound font reflects that. I've also got the sounds of the repair. We hear particular sounds in that cutscene that relate to the repair of the lightsaber, and they're on the force activation. So this is broken ignition and unstable blade. Unstable blade is very, very flickery. It's very trippy. I don't use it very often. Okay, so you can see that blade is flickering away there. And if I trigger the force effect, it has the sounds that we hear in the cave thing. So what I'll do now, I'll take the blade out of this and walk you through some of the little mods and adaptations I've done to hopefully move this a little bit closer to what we see on screen. So this saber has 4 retention screws in the emitter, which is really nice for a thin neck. One of the inherent problems with thin neck lightsabers is that there isn't much space in the emitter for the blade to sit in, and so having 4 screws helps to secure it a little bit. This saber literally has this much blade in the socket, so you can see that's less than 1 inch of blade in the socket on this one. This is a modified simple blade plug from Saber Armory. It's just modified by being cut down to be the right length for the socket of this saber. Doesn't need to be a Xenopixel plug because this saber has a lit Xenopixel connector. I'll just pop that in and then we'll have a closer look at the saber. So what I've done to this, it's had my usual weathering paint passes. So a very, very light rub over with some 500 grit sandpaper in this case. Sometimes I use a little bit coarser depending on the level of weathering I want. This one I wanted quite lightly weathered. I've then done a pass with black, watered down black modelling enamel, not modelling, acrylic paint. Water it down, put it all over the saber, wipe it off before it dries. It leaves black paint in all the little crevices and cracks. The more you wipe off, the cleaner it looks. That was then followed by another wash with MIG Trax Wash, which is an enamel wash, dark brown enamel wash. Same thing, paint it on, wipe it off with a kitchen towel. It leaves paint where it's hard to wipe off. As I say, in this case, I wanted a very slightly weathered look. I didn't want it to look too weathered. So most of that paint was wiped off. When I got this, the belt hanger, it comes with a much longer belt hanger. Actually almost a comedy looking belt hanger if I'm honest. So the way I dealt with that is take the old one off, and then I ordered some 1 inch bag loops. On Amazon you can buy fittings for making handbags and that sort of thing, and some of them are triangular shaped. So I bought a pack of about 5, I think, 1 inch triangle belt loops, and replaced the existing belt loop with that, which is much nearer to what we see on screen in terms of size. The other mods I did, this little control box on here, on the high end replicas, these are even working buttons and LEDs on here. This being an LGT, these are not, but they are represented really nicely. There's a plate that holds them in place, which is screwed in from the other side with a little grub screw. So you can take that plate off. When this arrives, the plate comes right the way up to the edge of the rail on the clamp, which it shouldn't. It should be lower than the rail on the clamp. So I cut that plate down so that it shows the rail of the clamp on top, and then the clamp rails themselves on this saber are gold or brass coloured. So I painted that with Tamiya Titan Gold. It's my favourite sort of gold brass effect paint. And then the whole thing's had a couple of 3 coats of Tamiya semi-gloss clear spray paint that seals in all the paint apps that I've done on it, and it also dulls down the surface of the metal just a little bit, so that you get this nice sort of satiny finish to the saber. So that's my Luke Skywalker episode 6 lightsaber hilt. It's a really lovely hilt. It feels fantastic in the hand. It's lovely to work with. The 4 retaining screws mean that the blade is far less likely to become wobbly. It's a really nice saber. Available, as I said, from Padawan Outpost. There is a link in the description. Just wanted to give a shout out as well to my costuming group, Vader's Raiders. Hi guys, any of you that are watching. Vader's Raiders, Star Wars only costume group. Fantastic group, either if you're looking to be part of a costuming group, or if you're looking to have a costuming group at an event that you're running. Vader's Raiders may be able to help. The easiest way to find us is to search for Vader's Raiders Star Wars costume group on Facebook, and you'll find our page on there and can contact us from there. There's a link again in the description to the Vader's Raiders page. Thank you for watching today. I hope you've liked the video. If you have, please click on the like button, and if you haven't already subscribed, then please consider subscribing. I think at current time we've got about 220 people subscribed, which is more than I ever imagined this channel would get. Thank you to everyone who subscribes. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to click the little bell icon, and then you'll get notifications of when the channel's updated. So that's all for today. Hopefully I'll be back again with another video again soon, and I hope to see you all on the channel again soon. Cheerio.